Okay, so this 52 nugget video is going to be a little tricky, I think, for me to get through in a short video, so just bear with me as I try to bomb through this. But it's about how all top performers invest back into their own personal success. There's actually been a ton of research done on this topic, and they found that top performers in any field invest 1 to 3% of their gross income back into their own personal growth. I think you could invest that money back into 4 main categories. So you could worry about happiness, you could focus on health, on knowledge, and on wealth. But because our goal is to help you become more successful as an F&I manager or a salesperson, I'm going to give you examples of investing back into your career growth so you can make more money. Let's talk about what 1 to 3% looks like. So let's just assume for now that you're making $50,000 a year, right? So if I take $50,000 a year and I just invest 1% in myself, that's about $500 per year, or about $42 per month that you're going to invest back in yourself. And we'll talk about some ideas on what you can do with that money in a second. If you go all the way up to 3% on 50 grand, you're going to be investing $1,500 per year on yourself, a little over $100 a month. So $40 to $125 a month. Now, if you do this statistically, and we're covering this topic fairly fast, but from experience on other people, what they see is if they're investing 1% in themselves, then every year they see about a 10% increase in income. Year over year. If you're going to 2%, it's probably 20%. And if you invest 3% of your income in yourself on education and experience, then you can get up to 30% more per income per year. So if you're making 50 grand per year right now, and you invest 1% of that income back in yourself, then it goes 50, 55, 60, all the way up to year 8, you start making 100 grand a year. At year 15, you're making $189,000 a year. So 15 years from now, if you continue to invest in yourself, less than 5% of all Americans make over 100 grand per year. You can be in that top 5% category. If you really spend a lot of money on yourself, 3% of your entire income, or $100 a month, then you could be making literally millions of dollars a year in $15 if you invest the 3% back into yourself. So now we know a little bit about the math. What do you do with the money? There's a lot of different options. I'm just going to give you a couple. You know my favorite, and that's start reading more books. So you could go cheap. And what I did when I first started reading books is I went to the library. I check out library books because it didn't cost me anything. You can go buy some books. I mean, $40 a month will buy you a couple books a month, or it'll buy you a subscription to Audible. So then you can start learning all the topics you need to know to get better at your job, sales and psychology and influence and things like that for those of us in this profession. The other thing you can do is attend seminars or conferences. There's all kinds that you can do this for. A couple of simple examples is there's the Industry Summit for F&I managers. It's held once a year, normally in Vegas. It's an excellent event to go to as an F&I manager. We have a conference, Blakely Enterprises, you could go to, and there's all kinds of other stuff. But you should be taking some of that money and going to a conference or an event to learn more about your profession. Another easy one that doesn't cost anything is the internet. And wow, there's a ton of information on the internet. I go to YouTube all the time to get educational videos. There's articles galore, and there's industry publications. You should sign up for things like Automotive News or F&I Management and Technology, but the internet just has tons of information for you to learn about it. And of course, there's college and trade schools, right? So they got night classes, online classes, and sometimes you can just go to specific universities designed for sales or F&I by Grant Cardone or Ron Rehard or Shaka Dyson, whoever it might be. You can spend some of that money back in a college type education for yourself. So let's wrap up. Top performers take a percentage of their income and they spend it on their own personal growth, no matter what. They make a plan for that and then they stick to the plan. Over the years, their income grows more than everyone else's. The more they spend on themselves, the more that they earn. So take some time to start figuring out where you're at, how much it would mean to you to save at least 1%, and what you would spend that 1% on, and then go execute that plan.